How you doing?
Good. Hey, I'm Lisa. Hi. So when you're up, I'll pass it. They'll be able to do it. Never need to go fast. I've had two. Thanks for inviting me.
Look at this here, and actually, I might have a little one in that. Oh, I do. That's nothing. Yeah.
They haven't even gotten their business card.
Okay.
Remember that email, the first one about light?
Yeah.
I think it's always been the family member, because the emails are always been.
That's the top.
There's nothing happening yet that we know.
This is the new map I'm getting drawn up for the.
Just like, you might have to obviously
Yeah.
project.
John's aware of it. Okay.
Pickleball court, you can have it back. I just need a picture.
Sure.
Yeah, the damage assessment's going on. So we're trying to get all of the assets back.
Know about the meeting.
What? I know.
You forgot? Not to that extent.
Forgot about the meeting. I was like, holy cow. I'm like literally sitting there looking, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Have the same link, get a long plan to the point, I'll send a letter. Call me. Don't.
He's about to get a phone call.
What is that?
Making sure
Just
he's okay.
get that Onslow Corvette traffic, you know?
Sounds like they're being kind of passive.
Come down from Raleigh.
Chris is also came to pick up Frankie and I went and sat down.
You guys got a new microphone.
I had a snack.
It's just a
Really?
button. You just gotta. All the way up and turn it on, okay? Okay, get there.
Okay, I'd like to call the meeting to order and you've got a reminder up there on the screen to ask everybody to turn their cell phones to off or vibrate. And joining me first in the call, just called to order the opening prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you would stand and join me in prayer, I'd appreciate it. Lord, thank you for the night that you've given us to come and discuss our town business. Thank you for all the people you brought here to help us, guide us, and give us your direction in running our town. Thank you for the people that aren't here, and thank you for all the people that have volunteered to make this busy week a good week. We've had a lot going on in our community, and we thank you for that. Help us to use your knowledge and wisdom as we talk about things tonight and making clear decisions that are good for the direction of our town. In your name we pray. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag.
One nation, under God,
All righty, so we'll start with public comment. The first one is for 3 minutes per speaker, but we don't have anybody signed up. That's just for agenda items. I will remind everybody to, and myself included, talk clearly into the microphone because last meeting I know was really hard to hear. I went back and listened. It was really hard to pick up. So a lot of that is us speaking into the microphone. The first order of business is the adoption of the agenda and consent items, and those are generally agreed upon items. Is there any motion on that?
Motion to approve.
Okay, a second?
Second.
Any discussion on that?
Yeah,
Okay.
can I just ask one question? Just
Sure.
a brief question about the withdrawal from the ECC. John, I know we exchanged an email on that. Is there any reason for us not to withdraw from the ECC? Just a quick one. That we would lose a service or anything like that they're providing?
We would discuss that more in the meeting, I guess, or is that just in the consent? That's just in
That's the only
consent.
question I had.
Yeah.
That's
No,
all.
yeah. That's only in consent anyway. And so to your point, you were just saying, are we getting any benefit for the money we're spending?
Exactly.
You have a resolution in your agenda packet, number 2026 R7, authorizing withdrawal from the Neuse River Council of Governments doing business as Eastern Carolina Council and authorizing the manager to send a notice of such withdrawal. That's in your consent agenda.
Okay, so any more discussion? Okay, all in favor of approving the consent items? Aye?
Aye.
Okay. All opposed? So that carries, and we'll move next to appointments, recognitions, and presentations, which we would like to invite Dr. Helen Gross up and just tell us about your organization that you have, Gigi's Farm. I've seen a lot of it online. And it seems like a great thing for our community, and I'd like for everybody to be aware of it. Oh, we get free gift bags
We couldn't
too?
visit without bringing goodies to you, right?
thank you.
You have to have the full experience. Good evening. I'm Helen Gross, and this is my daughter, Emily French. We're both residents here and dedicated educators in the Swansboro schools. So thank you for giving us the opportunity to be here tonight to talk about our new family farm, Gigi's Farm. So Gigi's Farm is located directly across from the high school. It's at 160 Queens Creek Road. It's a 5-acre family farm. June 3rd will mark our 1-year anniversary of opening the farm. And it is a flower and produce farm focused on agro-tourism. And our goal is really bringing the community together and giving an opportunity for families to connect with nature and to spend time together outdoors. We are currently developing seasonal flowers and a wildflower meadow, and we have 30 mature blackberry bushes that are currently producing. Our goal, our long-term goal is to open as a pick-your-own farm where families could come and make a bouquet or, pick a basket of berries, that sort of thing. The impact that we're trying to have on the community is obviously a positive impact. This week will mark 37 Educators of the Week that we have recognized and celebrated over this past year. So we try to highlight a local educator every week by giving them a gift basket of the produce and the goods and recognizing them on our social media accounts. We're also providing opportunities for students in our local schools to get their volunteer hours. So they have to have, 5 volunteer hours for their civics classes and things like that. So we're giving them the opportunity to come out locally and to earn those hours, and then also to learn about the environment and agriculture while they're out there with us on the farm. So it's just been a lot of fun. We hope that we're able to, continue to positively impact the Swansboro community, to bring more people here to see what a great place this is that we love so much. And yeah, that's us at Gigi's Farm. Do you guys have any questions for us? And you're gifted with some fresh homemade blueberry jam. Yes.
Anybody have any questions or comments?
How long y'all been doing Gigi's Farm?
So this June 3rd will be 1 year. So we purchased the property and we spent the first probably 6 months 6 months building the infrastructure because it didn't have electricity and water. We restored the barn. If you're aware of the property, it's a beautiful piece of property, and the Finley family lived there for probably over 50 years. And Mr. Finley, who was a veteran, built that red barn when he retired from the military. And so we restored the barn, but bringing about all of that infrastructure took us about 6 months. And so these are our first crops of flowers and berries and such that we're currently harvesting right now. So this is really our first season, even though we bought it last year because we had to get the infrastructure in place.
I would like to interject something too, that I've noticed you promote a sense of community. And you, like you said, you give the awards every week. Is it every week?
It is, yes, sir, it's every
week
week.
to the teachers, and that's a great thing. It breeds pride, and you've got families coming out to pick together and make their own things, and it's just a great thing that I think you've done for the community, which is one reason I wanted you to come and speak and let everybody know about it. And also, you had the Teacher of the Year.
Yeah,
So we'd
that's
like
right.
to recognize Ms. Gross for that, too. So congratulations on that.
Thank
as well.
you, we appreciate it.
Does anybody have any questions or anything they want to ask?
Just one for,
I'd like to,
just one for the commissioners. How many of y'all grow something on your property that you actually eat?
I'm sorry?
How many of y'all grow something on your property you can actually eat?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Well, I guess.
Thank you.
But I would encourage. Mm-hmm. And it kind of ties into our next segment that we have coming up.
Yes.
But I would encourage you guys to follow. Did you have something?
I do.
Okay. To follow her on Facebook because it is a very.
The QR code is
community-oriented.
on your card. You can just scan it. Yeah.
I want to say thank you for all you do for Swansboro and our children, but I also want to forward to recognize that Ms. Gross also got Remarkable Woman of the Year award
Yes, she did.
recently. So
Thank
give her
you.
a round of applause for that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Congratulations. Well, Helen, is there anything else that?
No, just come
Okay.
visit us.
All right. Well, thank you so much for
Thank
coming.
you.
All right. Thank you. Okay. So next we have Laura Hagerman and Jan. You're going to come up and do about the Bucket Brigade and tell us a little bit about that. And it kind of ties in with the same theme that they have at Gigi's Farm to some extent.
Very much so, yes. Keeping it in the agricultural point. So Laura, you could go.
So I am Laura Hagerman.
Get a little closer to the, we can barely hear you. Our sound system, you had to talk really close to it.
I am Laura Hagerman. I'm with the Salvation Army of Jones and Onslow County. And I've got Jan Smith here with me.
And I serve on the advisory board of the local Salvation Army, but I'm also an extension master gardener. And we have a joint program called Bucket Brigade. I think both Mr. Conaway and Mr. Justice have heard about this. It started at the home of Major James Capers, who was soon to be a recipient of the Medal of Honor Award. And we were talking about how can we help people who live in food deserts or who are food insecure. And we came up with the idea of the Bucket Brigade. And up there in the photo, you'll see the gentleman up there on the lift truck. That's somebody you probably recognize. That is Commissioner Royce Bennett, who's also the chairman of the Salvation Army. So the whole idea is to work with the Salvation Army through their food distribution program.
So the Salvation Army does food distributions. We do them 3 times a month at off-site locations in an attempt to reach people who maybe have transportation issues and to help address issues like food insecurity and food deserts.
And they also do it daily at their Center Street location. You can see there that our goal is to teach the people first steps to how to raise their own fresh vegetables. This is different from a community garden where they go to the garden. We realize we might need to get back to the first step. And everything is provided free. There is a bucket, which is like this. It's a fabric bucket. And this is a 5-gallon one. And it's filled with potting soil and plants that are raised by master gardeners or by some of the local high school students. They get a drip saucer so that they don't stain their concrete balcony or their deck or whatever. And we also have come up with a lower cost option, which is a 1 gallon, it's really cute, a 1 gallon bucket where they can grow indoor gardens, like a kitchen herb garden.
So here in the photos, we have a picture of one of our off-site food distributions in conjunction with the Bucket Brigade. So folks who are, again, facing the food insecurities have the opportunity to learn how to grow their own produce. We have lots of different support from different partner agencies.
And they also do a nutrition class for some of those recipients at the food distribution lines. It's a professional educator from USDA. It's a big acronym, FNEP, and it's for Educational Outreach through the Extension Office about nutrition and family housekeeping. And you'll note that some of these people you might recognize, a lot of the volunteers do live in the Swansboro or greater Swansboro area. This is another remote food distribution site, and it's always one side of the parking lot will be the food distribution, and the other side of the parking lot is the Bucket Brigade. Folks come first, they get some instruction, they receive their bucket, they pick out which kind of plant they'd like to plant, and then they plant it. They just move right along like a Bucket Brigade would be. This is a community-wide event that we held annually. And this past one was in March, and we had 399 people come. So it's getting more and more successful, and it is truly in service to all the communities in Onslow County. There you can see the folks lined up behind. Like I said, we had a lot of people show up. And this is another remote site in Maysville where we did warm season crops, tomatoes and peppers and so forth. And you'll notice a lot of these pictures show us all out in the sunshine looking happy, but we also have cool weather situations. And one time there's another photo a little further along where we were out in the sleeting rain, but we still managed to help the folks, and they planted obviously cool season vegetables at that time.
We even make our way out to low-income housing complexes. So if you're familiar in Jacksonville, near the public library, we've got a housing community, Plaza Manor. There are several that we go to reach the residents where they are.
And those first three folks on the left, those are all greater Swansboro area master gardeners. And there you can see some stocking caps. It was sunny, but it was also like 27 degrees. The lady on the right, that's Jessica Gardner, and that's the Onslow County Extension Director, and she's a resident of Swansboro. Her background is family and consumer science, so she often accompanies our Bucket Brigades and provides recipes for how to fix some of the crops that they grow or the produce that they grow, and offers samples. It looks like she's blowing bubbles, but she's actually offering samples.
And during those cold weather demonstrations, we also provide participants with frost covers and tips for growing in the cold season. Here we have some pictures of some various community partners. So we work with the neighbors here at Camp Lejeune. They send us lots of strong volunteers willing to help with the food distributions and getting the buckets prepared with soil. We've got some of the local high schools, their ag programs have grown produce, and then we've been able to give those products out to people in our food line. Like you can see the collards there. It's just a great community partnership.
And we won. We were awarded the Volunteer Group of 2026 by United Way of Onslow County just this last month. So we're pretty pleased. This is our 4th year of doing Bucket Brigade. We've done so far 25 seasonal outreach programs, and we are looking forward to doing one in the Swansboro area, hopefully during the Military Appreciation Day event out at Hammock Beach State Park.
We are also working with Swansboro United Methodist to hopefully get one out in the Swansboro community, being a food distribution with a Bucket Brigade component in there as well.
On a monthly basis, the food distribution, but once a year on the Bucket Does anyone have questions?
The reason I wanted you guys to come and I wanted to bring awareness to it, we've talked about it numerous times. It's really taken off and done well in Jacksonville. And you said you can do 2 plantings, can't you? One in the spring and one in the fall type planting?
We do about 8 to 10 bucket brigades a year, and we'll either visit a site in the early, late winter months for cool season crops, produce, or late summer, early fall for cool season, sorry. And then also kind of like May, June for warm season. So we kind of have to space it out. It takes about 20 volunteers for a bucket brigade to function.
And then this isn't any extra burden for the town at all. It basically goes through, like you said, you talked with Swansboro United Methodist, and I have as well with Laura, Pastor Laura, and they're all about trying to help with it as well. So you teach people how to grow their own whatever they want to grow, and you give them a starting kit.
It's going to be limited. I mean, some people may live in a motel. They may live in an apartment. They may live in their car. They may be couch surfing, but they're able to take their garden with them. And you'll see a lot of smiles at the Bucket Brigade because people either remember having raised vegetables when they were kids, or they used to have a big garden when they had their family, but now they're widowed. So there's also a therapeutic component to any kind of gardening. It's people outside. They have to water their plants once a day. They might run into their neighbor and get a chance to talk. So there's a lot of value in a different way of looking at things. But again, they're going to be limited on the size. I did bring you some beans. I don't have a cute little grab bag, but I brought bean seeds for everybody.
Well, do the gardeners go back out to the residents' home and follow up with them? Or?
We don't, but we give them instruction at the time. They also have hands-on opportunities during the Bucket Brigade itself. We give them take-home information, and then they also have an ability to reach out and call the extension office. The extension agent can help them. I can guarantee you, I have been to the grocery stores or the banks. Somebody will recognize me and come up, and they'll show me their cell phone, and there's a picture of how well their patio tomatoes are doing, or how they didn't want to raise radishes, but they were so excited when they went ahead and did so. They loved seeing them pop up in a week's time, and now they're eating radishes. It's just kind of an amazing aspect. We don't really have a lot of repeat situations either, so I think we are reaching new people.
Just a quick comment, say thank you for what you're doing. It's impressive. You said 399 people at an event in March?
That was in our March community-wide event.
That's fantastic.
That was probably about almost 200 buckets. So you figure sometimes it was a couple or a family.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's just, I'd like to say both of these programs are something that create community, and that's, kind of why we'd like to bring these to the forefront so the board knows about them. Anybody that's online that happens to be listening can know about these 2 organizations that do create community and bring us together and help each other. So thank you very much, ladies, for giving those presentations, and anything we can do, or I can do, I should say, let me know. And you guys are already in touch with Pastor Laura. Maybe you could get in touch with Dr. Gross, and who knows what partnership may come out of it. But thank you so much. And so now we're going to get into the really exciting part of the meeting. So if you ladies want to stay, you're welcome to stay. But if you'd like to leave, you're welcome to leave. No, I understand. No, thank you so much for coming. We'll move to the public hearing part, which we don't have one at this time. So we'll move right next into non-consent business. And that would be John Barlow, our town manager, with a discussion about the Emergency Operations Center, or public safety, I should say.
Yeah, let me know if you can't hear me. Good evening. It really is a pleasure to introduce this agenda item to you. It's been a long time coming, and I think it really marks a significant milestone in our construction of our Emergency Operations Center public safety building. What I have for your consideration is a contract to award a contract for the design of the EOC and public safety building to Bobbitt Construction. You have a copy of that proposed contract in your agenda packet. It's quite lengthy. It is a standard AIA contract between the owner and a design builder if you're using the design build method. The town attorney has spent quite a bit of time reviewing it and going back and forth with Bob to make sure we have the wording just right. Just want to make a couple points that the total project for the design and construction is $8.5 million. We started with $9 million in grants plus interest over the last several years. And of course, we did spend about $1.3 million on the acquisition of the 5 acres on Main Street. So we have quite a bit of work to do, but the budget's not substantial, so we're going to have to really pay attention. And that's where Bob is hopefully going to perform well for us as our design and our builder. This contract is only for the design phase. That's how these contracts work in the design build world. You contract for the design, you get the design, you approve the design, and then the design builder will come back to you with a maximum price that they will build the building for. So we don't know that price until the design is complete, and then we'll do an amendment. It'd be the Amendment B, which you probably, if you notice in your exhibits, there's no Amendment B. The Amendment B will be for the construction of the building. So right now we're just, we got $8.5 million to work with. It's really, when we're talking about $952,741 at this point is for all pre-construction costs up through having a set of construction plans ready to go to construction. Then we'll do the amendment, come back to you for that amendment. Probably about a year from now. The anticipated construction milestones is 1 year for design with that amendment I'm describing in June of 27. So about a year from now is what the plan is for design, commence construction on around August of 27, and substantial completion in October of 28. So it's a 2-year process, what they anticipate, given the size and complexity of this project through design and construction. So my recommendation is to you tonight to award the design contract to Bob at Construction, the amount of $952,741.
Anybody you got questions?
So, Raz, you've seen the contract already?
We reviewed it pretty extensively.
Okay.
So yes, I don't have personal experience with going through a design build contract. They're fairly recently authorized in North Carolina General Statutes. Statutes have been liberalized in the last decade to allow for various methods other than fixed bidding, single sum, low bidder wins. But I think probably for Swansboro's needs now, it's a very proper route to take, and it allows integrating the design process. Frankly, at this point, there are lots of options in terms of the ultimate design. And I think that's part of the idea here is that there is this grant budget and a timeline, and it allows the designer, the professional design firm, to essentially have a closer eye on cost management, and also to be more flexible in deciding different concepts, different elements that are essential and elements that might have to be discarded as the design is being formulated, working with town officials, of course. So that's a verbose way to answer it, but yeah, I'm familiar with the document. The document looks very solid. It's authorized by law, and I would certainly recommend it from a legal standpoint.
And since you act as our parliamentary, because this enters into contracts with outside entities and individuals, would we require a closed session meeting to finalize the contract and actually get it signed and then come out and make that announcement publicly? Or how does that process? Because you're the parliamentary, you can walk me through this one. I'm familiar with what designers does, and that is, it's our chance then for the chiefs and everybody that's on the ECC committee or whatever it is, you guys get your inputs to that design team, and you design our facility, right? And they're saying the cost is $952K and change, right? Pretty much. And that, so how does it, just walk me through this, and Son, you can chime in too. How do we allocate the money in phases through this process? Can you talk a little bit about how each phase we'd allocate a certain amount of money? In phase one of the initial design?
They will submit periodic requests for payment to us based on what they do during that billing period. Next agenda item, I'll talk a little bit more about that. So, yeah, it won't be a certain percentage every month. It depends on what they do during that period in the design phase to get us to a set of construction plans. But ultimately, over that next year, you will anticipate to spend that $952,000 on their services to do that.
So my understanding from looking through it is you're our authorized agent to represent us, and everything would go through you, and we just need to give you proper
Correct.
direction.
Right. Well, we're asking you to authorize us.
This is just for design, and we
It'll
won't
have
know
to be
what the build
pre-audited.
part
You know,
is.
Son, you'll have to pre-audit, to verify that there's $952,741 in the budget, and then I'll sign it, execute it, and Bob, it'll do the same, and that'll be a
And
valid
as we
contract.
go through the project, as we get the design, then we know what possibly the cost would be. And then they'll
Right,
come
right.
to you
Once-
periodically with what
Once
they
you all
need.
agree to a design, and it may take a couple iterations of working with them to get something we're comfortable with and that we can stay in budget. You know, we can't design a building that we know we can't afford in our budget. So when that happens, and that's what they do as far as they have the expertise in-house, not only have the architects and the engineers, but they have the estimators on staff as well to say, okay, you design that size building, they know what construction costs are going to be, and they'll come to you with a maximum price to say, we'll do it for X.
And every so often they'll come to you and say, we need this amount of money to continue
Oh, sure.
forward.
Yeah,
Or
right.
we've done this and we need payment for this, and yeah.
Very detailed the pay requests are very detailed.
So this is
as to
part
what
of
they're
our,
charging us for.
part of our 3 million too, I would
Right, and that
assume.
was part of the, there was a deadline on part of that $3 million grant, the 6 not, but the 3 did have a drop dead date of June 30th this year. We did just recently get confirmation that we got a year extension on that, so we're fine there.
So, but we're getting close to the end of that $3 million monetarily.
Yeah, you did use part of that $3 million for the land acquisition. Yeah, you did.
Okay.
John, do you anticipate during this design phase, like formal in-process reviews then, where the board as well as the community will get a chance to see what the exterior, interior is being proposed to look like? I mean, I think back 10, 12 years ago when something was similar done for the rec center, and they had opportunities to show, at a workshop what it was looking like and so forth, where the community could have could see what this building is going to look like that's going to serve them for the next 30, 40 years.
I see once there's a conceptual design ready, that they actually come to town and present it publicly to show us what the direction we're headed, what it's going to look like. But not until you actually approve the design, then they'll go back to work and say, okay, we can.
Sure, I'm just.
The concept, what the exterior features might look like, the materials, yes.
Awesome.
I can see that. Yeah.
Thank you.
John, I know that this is for 1 year. Do they really feel like they need an entire year
1 year?
for the design phase?
If it takes us longer than a year, there's a problem.
Right. I think that's just
There's a problem.
they've done it so much. I think there's probably some delay in there. It depends on if we if we get a concept that we're not, how much redesign they have to do, and how much input we're going to have on the design side. I think they're giving themselves some extra room there. I don't think it'll take a year, but we are going to put that in the schedule. I know they've done a lot of work already in the background, doing some conceptual work, so I think they've got a head start on it. But until we have a contract, we can't pay them for any services.
The clock still ticks on our grant money, right?
Oh, yeah.
On both of those
Okay.
amounts of money. So it's time to, what's the word? Say it. Time to do your business or get off the pot. Kind of.
Yeah, okay. Well,
I can't hear. You're saying it's time to execute the design phase, at the very least. And you've answered my questions on how this money gets allocated. Not one lump sum, obviously. It's going to go out over phases and stuff. And as we complete plans, designs, and everyone gets to be super transparent about the whole process, and the public will get a chance to see them, get inputs to it as well. The biggest concerns I got is the chiefs and stuff. The building's going to serve them the most, especially during emergencies, and be a full-time, living quarters for our two departments. And if we only get 35 years out of it, we got cheated and stuff, because we want to, I think, when Chief, remind me, we said minimum 50 years on this building, right? When we started this thing 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. Yeah, we're looking, this is multi-generational, but I don't know whoever decided to go for a tin building and stuff like that in the coastal category 4 area, but that's not what we're doing here now.
so your recommendation is for us to approve that $952,000?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions in relation to that?
Mayor, if I may just respond, one question Mr. Eckendorf raised concerning open session versus public sessions. I think virtually any decisions that are made that come to the council relating to what the town needs, what it wants, what its budget is, what features to omit, all of that is for public session. But the only occasion I can think of would be if there was some sort of a bona fide, serious legal dispute with the contractor or otherwise that needed a closed session under the attorney-client privilege. Otherwise, this is definitely the kind of decision that public officers should make, and must make in public sessions.
And to your point, is that the contract gives periodic reviews to John, to be very open with the process, and then it's pretty much laid out how we handle disputes in regards, the contract states that clearly on how we handle it. So it's all out on the table going into it, so we should be okay, I would think. But so anybody else? Anything else? Okay. Is there a motion to approve the contract for design services for Bobbitt?
Motion to approve?
Or not? Okay, and a second. Okay, any discussion on that? Got a second on it, yeah. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, so thank you, John, and if you'll proceed with that, that would be great. I guess you continue on.
Again, this item also is related to the Emergency Operations Center Public Safety Building project. This is a contract for management services. When we looked at when we evaluated our internal capacity and our capabilities in-house, it became apparent to us that we would probably need project advisor service or management services to assist us in the design and the construction of this project. This would be a third party, an independent firm that would act on as an owner's representative, acting as a liaison between us and Bobbitt. You see in the cover memo there for you to consider this contract, there's a host of scope of services that they would provide. And this would be for the whole term of the contract, the design phase and the construction phase. That's what this company does. That's all they do is act as project advisors. One of the questions earlier was about pay submittals. That would be one service they provide for us. Those submittals go to them because they are familiar with pricing, what is considered reasonable in today's construction of large commercial buildings. So they would know and could tell us, hey, yeah, that's a reasonable price based on that design. They would be on site once a week, verifying that the construction plans are being built as according to plan, what's actually happening in the field, keeping us updated on the schedule. If there are any conflicts, they would help us resolve any conflicts. stay on top of change orders. Change orders are very expensive, so we want to keep those to a minimum. And they would be there for us, acting on our behalf to keep the project on time and in budget. From my research, it's very common to use, particularly on the complex size of these projects. A larger city might have a department that has their own project construction management. We don't have that luxury, so these firms are there to assist us in that. We went out for RFQs, requests for qualifications for these services. We did receive 4 bids. We interviewed them, and Chief Taylor, let's call him Chief Jacob, Chief Randall. We felt that you threw me off. The proposal submitted to us by MPB was the most qualified, so we entered into a contract negotiations with them, and you have a proposed contract from them for their services. And again, this would be for design and construction over that estimated 2-year period in the amount of $254,345, which is about 2.95% of total project costs. And in my research, it's anywhere from 1% to 6%. So I felt comfortable that was a good number, that we were going to get a quality service from them. That would be my recommendation. Again, the town attorney has reviewed this contract with them, and he felt comfortable with it. So if you have any questions, we'd be glad to answer them.
Bill, if I may, I just wanted to say thanks so much for developing this detailed list, John. I mean, you and the staff, I think it's quite comprehensive, and I think it'll protect the interest of the town and obviously this large capital investment. Also wanted to say thanks, Chief Taylor, Chief Randall. When I was reading your write-ups, I felt like I was sitting in the room with you, with how detailed they were and why you chose one over the other and the things that you were examining and evaluating and so forth. Something in the overall proposal I picked up on: 35 years of experience doing this type of work, presence already at Camp Lejeune and Pender County. Took the liberty of calling someone at Camp Lejeune who's in the facilities department in charge of military construction. They spoke very highly of this firm. So I thought that just kind of reinforced more good news about them.
That was one of the points they made to us. We were already working a project on base, and we have people down here that if we need to be here real quick, we're just down the road. So we felt good with that.
Absolutely. I mean, across the board, I mean, a lot of the quality, time, and effort, comprehensive work, in my opinion, went into this. And to your point, too, about the cost, John, I mean, I remember when we were at the class in Wilmington, North Carolina League Municipalities, when this was brought up, and you had asked a question about it. I think this is right in line with the fee that they were saying was the norm, if you want to say, for this sort of work.
What to expect, that didn't surprise me.
Sounds like they're far more qualified, or I won't say far more qualified, that's the wrong choice of words. They meet our needs better than the other firms.
All the firms that did submit they were great. They had great qualifications, but obviously something's got to make you feel comfortable with one particular, and all 3 of us had the same opinion that this company would be.
I just want to thank everybody that had a part in this. Sonia, Chiefs, both of you. Back 2.5 years ago, we got this thing, and the property search and everything was probably the most challenging thing I've ever experienced in getting the right people together at the right room at the right time. And I'm going to thank another citizen out there as well. It's Junior Freeman, for being the guy that brought us the property that we were able to acquire and everything as well. It was very difficult. It was very challenging, but it was rewarding when we found a suitable place finally to build. Chief, I think Chief Randall's efforts, especially going out in the community himself, taking his own personal time, I believe, in talking to a lot of the citizens and stuff about property interest. I mean, there was a lot of competitors out there. At the end of the day, though, we settled on one, and I think it's going to be a good fit. And John, your perseverance through this whole process, I know it's not been easy. That's for sure.
It's been a learning experience.
It's been a heck of a learning experience. And Raz, thank you for all of your advice and all the closed sessions we had and all the decisions we had to make during that process as well. This is a lot of work, and I think it's going to bear good fruit eventually. So with that said, guys, thank you much.
Okay, anybody else have any comments, questions? Okay, I would need a motion to approve John's recommendation for $254,000 some odd dollars for the advisory services.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on it? Okay, all in favor, say
Aye.
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 Okay, all opposed? So thank you, John, and
Thank
if
you.
you'll take care of that, that'd
Yep.
be great. So I'm assuming now we're pretty much fitting that $3 million, close to it,
You just, yep, we took care of that.
with tonight's actions. Yep,
Yep.
all right, thank you. And Sonia will be next.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners.
And this is for a contract for...
This is for the audit
Now,
contract.
well, they'll take the place of Redmond, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yep. So the town's previous auditor notified the town that he will no longer be providing audit services to governmental entities. Therefore, on April 10th, 2026, the Finance Department issued requests for proposals for audit services and received 2 proposals. Staff recommends selecting Anderson, Smith & White PLLC to perform the town's audit services. The firm has over 25 years of accounting experience, with the majority of those years dedicated to providing services to governmental entities. Governmental audit and related services are the firm's primary practice area and represent the primary focus of the firm's effort in professional training. The firm is also a member of the North Carolina Association of Certified Public Accountants and the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants. So the proposed fee to audit the fiscal year ending June 30, 2026 is $26,500, not to exceed $29,000, just because we don't want to have to go back and amend the contract, because that's a lot of work. So she gave me that little wiggle room, but
Does that compare,
the single, yeah, just in case
Yeah.
there is going to be a single audit, but
Does that
there may be
compare-
another single, we might have to do it for another program, because it's only for one program.
does that compare favorably with the Redmond price?
It's
Pretty
more.
similar?
It's
More.
more.
Gotta
Yeah.
do what you gotta do.
And the other one was
How much more?
It was 11.
Yeah.
I think it's, if I remember right, I think it's 11,000 maybe.
Okay. And where are they located at?
Yeah.
Not that
Avon,
it matters.
Is that what it, Elon, yeah, Elon, yeah.
Okay.
North Carolina. Yeah. I had a lot of conversation with her. She's already on top of it. She's ready to roll. So the recommended action is to approve the audit contract with Anderson, Smith & White for the period July 1, 2025 through June 30, 2026 in the amount of $26,500, but not to exceed $29,000.
Okay, any questions for Sonia, comments? Guess not. So with that, then you would recommend that we have a motion to approve that contract. And is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second? Any discussion on it? No discussion, so all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, all opposed? So if you'll take care of that for us, that would be great. Thank you.
Okay.
And it's still the Sonia show.
All right. So here I'm going to be all right. So here is your financial report for as of April 30th, 2026. So here is your general fund with encumbrances included, and your total excess of revenues over expenditures were $595,766. And this is your general fund 2-year comparison. This is actual And your total excess of revenues over expenditures were $716,121. Here's your summary of expenditures by department. And overall, the total expenditures are at 65.35%, which is 8%, which is 17.95% less than your monthly projection of 83.3%. So we're doing good, but of
Yeah,
course,
you guys have done a great job managing the budget.
yeah, but there's still some things there. I mean, that's not where we're going to end up, but yeah. All right, and then here's your stormwater enterprise fund, and your total excess of revenues over expenditures were $63,338, and of course, this is with encumbrances included. And then your solid waste enterprise fund, your total access revenues over expenditures are $15,446. Now, I know that I have mentioned about we're watching this department. Of course, we don't have, there's some invoices that are not in this yet, so just still monitoring it. And I may have to come back in June for a budget amendment, but we're hoping not to. The summary of the town's current debt and balances as of April 30th. And we're going to be adding one this month for the 2 police vehicles, which is $104,000. You'll see that next month. And then here, your summary of the town cash accounts and current balances as of April 30th. And you do see that the capital management, the interest is a little higher than the TD Bank. It's 0.15 basis points. So we're going to watch that. And now after approving these contracts, we're just going to see where we're at. And then John and I will reevaluate that. But for right now, I think we're just going to leave it until we see what happens with that. And then here is your grant update and the balances. Any questions?
Anybody have any questions for Sonia?
Sonia, how much do we have put away for sidewalks still?
The first time I don't bring my capital reserve. I want to say, I know it's over 120,000. I do know that. I just can't remember because we had some set aside because every year we set aside sidewalk in lieu of in June, the last meeting in June. If there's any money sitting in sidewalk in lieu of, I asked to transfer it in capital reserve under that and earmark it for sidewalks. But I can get you the balance. Thank
Okay. All right. Thank you, Sonia, and thank you guys, you and John, and the staff for managing the budget so tightly. Future agenda topics would be Elisa.
Good evening. So upcoming in June, you will have board appointments, a fire service study update from Chief Randall. You will have your public hearing for your proposed budget ordinance, tax rate, fee schedule, and salary schedule. That is scheduled for the 13th of June. And you will have a UDO text amendment public hearing, which will be scheduled for the 23rd of June. Excuse me, the 9th of June is the public hearing for the budget. Did I say 13th? I'm sorry. And then the 23rd will be for the text amendment and, of course, your monthly financial report. Did the board have any other items they'd like to see presented in June?
May I ask a quick question for clarity? What board appointments for the next meeting?
There are board appointments that expire in June for a couple of boards that are interested in reappointment. So there's also a vacancy on historic that we have received applications for that could be considered as well.
Thank you.
Anybody have?
We still have a pretty hefty list. And like I said, I just received some more for historic interest.
Okay, anybody have any future agenda that they'd like to see? No, guess not.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, so we're moving along pretty quickly tonight. There's no items moved from consent, so we'll move to the second public comment period, which is you can speak up to 5 minutes for anything not pertaining to the agenda or anything you'd like to. So the first person, if you'll come to the microphone, state your name and address, and is Mary Pat Schmay. And if you'd like to come up and
Hello, thank you, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners. Before I get started on this, I just want to say thank you to those of you who participated on Monday. It was a wonderful community gathering for Memorial Day. Thank you for the town support, chiefs, and everybody else. A lot of good comments have come from that, so I appreciate all of your participation in that. I came tonight because Linda couldn't come, and she asked me to make sure and let everybody know that we have Military Appreciation Day coming up down here at Hammocks Beach State Park on D-Day, also June 6th. In the past, as you know, some of you have come down and volunteered to be in the dunk tank, which I'm taking taking volunteers. And if we have a few, then they won't be in so long. I know the mayor has already said yes, and the chiefs have agreed
wait,
to.
when did I say yes?
Multiple times. First in is probably the cleanest. And any other participation, we also will be giving a key to the city to Major Capers. So he will be coming down. And Jan, who was with the Bucket Brigade, will be coming down as well. She works a lot with Major Capers, as you may know. So it'll be another beautiful day. We expect another 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 people. We have some good parking strategies, so hopefully it will move a little bit faster for that. But if you haven't been out, I highly recommend that you come down. It's a beautiful day. It's all military, families, active, veteran. Everything is free. I know we put in for some sponsorship from the town. We have lots of good sponsors, everything food, free rides to Bear Island, et cetera. It's a beautiful community day and a great way for people that may not be familiar with Swansboro to realize we're here. I can't tell you the number of times I've been down there talking to families, and they know, Lejeune, they know Jacksonville, but they're not familiar with Swansboro. And so it's a great opportunity for us to be there and say, hey, I always say, go out the park, make a right and a right, and go downtown. You find this cute little place. So I really would love it if you guys would come out. Anybody who would like to be in the dunk tank, please let me know. But just come down, walk around. These guys are going to be down there. So any questions on that? Any volunteers besides Mayor? You can get back.
Jeff would like to participate this year.
Jeff did it last year.
Well, I did it before, last year. So I'm not going to be in town,
Oh, that's
I'm gonna miss it.
convenient.
but Bill said he would take my place.
Okay.
Twice?
Okay, this is comment only.
No
not
other
comment-
takers?
not
Come on,
discussion.
guys.
Okay. But,
That's
all right.
fine.
All right.
You're welcome down. You don't need to be in the dunk tank to come down. So,
All right, thank you so much. And
absolutely.
thanks for all that y'all do. Okay, next would be Fred. Well, I can't pronounce your last name, Fred. Just state your name and address, please.
Fred Schechter.
Okay.
To reiterate some of what Mary Pat just said, I just wanted the board to know, as president of the Friends of Hammocks and Bear Island Friends Group, the first couple of weeks that the ferry season is open, three out of the first four, the fourth weekend rained. We have had overcapacity crowds every weekend. And I just wanted the board to understand how many people are coming into town, that park. The majority of them have never been to this area. ever. And so we are bringing in large groups of outsiders that we have not seen before. Part of the reason is that the Emerald Isle has helped us out by raising the parking rates over there to $25 a day, so nobody wants to pay that rate. So they're all coming to Hammock's Beach instead, because that's what we found out by asking them. If you don't realize, we run golf cart service 7 days a week while the ferry season is open. I'm employing 19 volunteers on a weekly basis to keep that running, to get everybody across. And it's also a large fundraiser for our group. The other thing I wanted everybody to know, we have just gone into negotiations with the North Carolina Department of Natural Resources. The way the Friends groups get their funding and what we spend is going to come under some new rules starting next year. I'm also the president of the state parks, and we have just signed a new MOU with them to change how we spend our money with the state. So I'm kind of giving notice that probably within the next year we'll be coming to the board and to the TDA asking for additional funding because they are going to we're going to have minimum limits how much they're going to ask us to spend with each park because the state's budgets have been awfully tight. So they're going to ask the Friends groups to contribute more to help offset some of the expenses that each park has. So we'll be looking at some of those things, probably within the next year. Right now, the Friends group probably spends roughly somewhere between $5,000 and $10,000 on that park every year for different, for educational events, for the golf cart service, and help offset some of the events, including Military Appreciation Day. The other thing I was going to ask the town to possibly look at, Emerald Isle this past weekend for Memorial Day ran a shuttle service from the length of Emerald Drive just for the weekend. I would suggest maybe taking a look at that because at the campground, now the campground has been full every weekend. It would be a good way to get people from the campground, just run a shuttle on July 4th and Memorial and Labor Day weekend, maybe to run it from the campground, Hampton Inn, and wherever else, and maybe the other hotel in Cedar Point to get people to get downtown to offset some of the parking issues that we have in this town. Because like Mary Pat said, I talk to, 300-400 people every weekend, and trying to get them to come to either to get them to go eat at the restaurants in Swansboro, take part in the activities here, has increased greatly because of the number of people that we're seeing. I'm amazed. I've never seen the park that crowded so early in a season in 15 years. So I just wanted the board and the mayor to be aware of that, of the popularity and the possible the ability to use those people to come into downtown and increase the tax, sales tax, and increase the popularity of the town. So, any questions?
No, thank you so much for your comments and for all you do with the Friends of Hammocks out there.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so that is all that was signed up. Is there anybody else that would like to talk or say anything? Nope. Okay, so we'll move along to the manager's comments, and that would be John.
I have a couple of comments to make you aware of a few things. I'm excited to tell you on Monday, June the 1st, Steve Edwards will be here, our new Public Services Director. Steve is very familiar with Swansboro, having served as our Public Works Director a number of years ago. So I expect his startup and his familiarity will be pretty quick. And I think there's some of us were here when he was here, and I think he's well thought of. He's very professional. I think he'll really serve our Public Services Department in a way that we're really, really proud of. I'm excited to have him. He's starting on the 1st. It'll be June the 9th will be the first time I can bring him, introduce him to the board formally. So see somebody you're not used to seeing in a town truck. That's Steve, next week. And the Visitor Center project, it continues to move along really well. We haven't run into anything that we did not expect. Rob Steele, the contractor, and his staff are doing a great job. I know they've already applied the wall and the trim paint. Cabinets are in. We're just waiting for the floor and the fixtures to be set, and we should be pretty close to being finished. So once I get a better date from Rob, I'd like to set a time that we could actually do a ribbon cutting and the board go down there. We make it official to get it back open. I think it's gonna be a real nice asset to the town. Looks great. I don't know if you had a chance to go down there and look inside, but the work is really nice. That's all I have, unless you have any questions.
No, I just wanted to add to that. Visitor Center, I just stuck my head in there a couple of times, and they're making really good. It looks like you said they're just waiting now to put the fixtures in. Less than 2 weeks, you think? It's looking pretty, it's hard to say, I know, but it's.
The bathroom partitions, they're there.
Everything's.
Rob told me that was the longest lag time is get the partitions in, but they're there. They've already been delivered. We've ordered the refrigerator. The water fountain is there. Yeah, everything.
It really looks good in there, the way they've got it laid out.
Yes, I'm not expecting, but maybe 2 or 3 weeks, he'll have it wrapped up.
Anybody have any questions, comments?
Bill, just to build off of what Tamara had mentioned earlier about the sidewalks, I noticed in the write-up, it sounded like the design and survey work was completed. So what's the next step then? What are we looking at now as we move forward?
Then, with the design, we know where the sidewalk will be laid out, whether it's in the right-of-way or outside the road right-of-way. The areas that it's outside the right-of-way, that will be our next step, is to acquire those easements from those private property owners. And that's just a little bit, I'm going to need the town attorney's help on. I think he's got a lot of experience acquiring sidewalk right-of-way. But it's time consuming. There's about 30 properties that we cross that it does go outside of the right-of-way. So I don't think it's an overwhelming number, but to get everyone to agree, sometimes it takes a little bit of time. And then the next step, obviously, it's about a $1.1 million project to do all 5 of the project areas. So to Tamara's question, how much do we have? I think Sonia's going to look up what we have in sidewalk capital reserve, but I'm pretty sure it's less than $200,000. So we're going to have to fill that gap somewhere if we want to actually go to construction.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, John. All right, so we'll move on to the board comments. Anybody like to start out? I'll change it up a little bit. Guess not? Okay, Tim?
First of all, the residents, appreciate you coming out. Mary Pat, appreciate the hard work. Please take it back to your team of everybody you put together. Great memorial. Everything seemed like it went off well, and I appreciate you allowing me the opportunity to be there. John, obviously, I think we're in the right direction with the public safety building. Did the homework on Bobbitt. It looks like they're going to be a great team to work with. And obviously, I work for Public Works, and as Commissioner Herbert said, the MPB, they do great work on base. So hopefully it continues on that. And then last, I know I shot an email out earlier the week with a few people, but obviously our residents have a big concern with a new mini mart that's come pretty close to town. So obviously there's emails going out, making sure they're staying within the standards of what they can and cannot do. So I've had numerous people that has called and sent me emails dealing with the new mini mart that's come in beside the library. So that's all I got. Appreciate it.
Is that the building right next to the library?
It is.
Yeah.
I think I've thanked everybody tonight already, with the exception of the audience, for being here and observing your governance in action. There's one other person I'd like to thank out there, and I know it's going to be a surprise to you, John, and stuff, but the Walsh Group, as far as Keith and stuff, believe it or not, learned a lot from him in the process too, as well as how to get things done, maybe how not to get things done at the same time. So I'm just thinking about the whole long journey we've had for the past two and a half years. Enjoyed some of it. Some of it was very painful though at the same time. Thank you to the board. I think, like I said, we got a good board composition here, communicating well, and hope to see more collaboration here in the future. But everybody, God bless and thank you very much.
Wayne? Yeah.
Sure, absolutely. Thanks to everyone who's here tonight. Thanks to those who are watching from home. Just wanted to pass on a couple notes from the Onwassa budget meeting that happened last Thursday, just for everyone's knowledge and managing expectations. Customers can expect a 9.5% increase for base charges for both water and sewer services. This equates to about $1.99 for water and $3.20 for sewer. The average user is about 4,100 gallons per month for water and sewer. And Onwassa did a really good job developing a tier system. So if you are a low-end user, you're not paying as much as somebody who's a high-end user. The average bill with the new rate and the tier looks to be about $44.65 a month for water and $81.95 for sewer, so for a total of $126.60. So that kind of gives you an idea what the average is. If you're less than 4,100 gallons, you should be less than that. If you're more, you're probably going to be a little bit more than that. So just wanted to pass that along to everyone. And lastly, Mary Pat, you thanked us, as Commissioner Benoit already said. Thank you. Thank you and your team for all the time and effort for a super event yesterday morning, and thanks for the opportunity to be a part of it. Thank you. Amber?
Thank you for everybody that came out tonight. Staff, thank you for everything you do. Raz, we appreciate you. Mary Pat, I wasn't able to make it this year, but I'm sure it was a great event with all the time and effort you put into it. I want to touch base for a minute on the ECC resolution that we did. I was appointed to that board in January and went in for first meeting, a little bit of orientation and fluff, and the only real order of business there was a 2 years prior bad audit. And then that they were expecting last year's audit to be just as bad. They had gotten some new management last year, and they seemed very hopeful. And I went to an additional meeting. I didn't find any real benefit to Swansboro. Why we should continue to have a membership with them. That being said, even with new membership, their financial situation was not good, and they are not going to be able to maintain anything after June without emergency funding from the counties. I do not believe that the counties or any of the municipalities were willing to do that. And that is why we're withdrawing.
Yeah.
I'm going to start off by thanking the fire department for being at the Memorial Day service. It was a lot of people, believe it or not, they had to have that big flag up. So couldn't happen without you guys. I didn't see any way that it impeded any traffic at all. So that was a good thing. Thank the people here and people watching online. And I want to remind you, as you heard tonight, we're going to have advisory board appointments coming up. So if you really want to be active, go online, fill out talent bank application for one of the boards. The board, thank you for being as flexible as we have been through this budget process. We're kind of in a bad situation, but everybody's being reasonable and we're all trying to do what's best for the town and spend as least amount of money as possible. So thank you for that.
Okay. As always, thank you to everybody sitting over on that side of the room over there. I'm not going to go through all the departments, but you guys are the ones that run the town, so thank you so much for that. There was a Onslow County Municipal meeting on May the 14th, and the primary topic was the reval that was coming out, and we're kind of in limbo with that because we're still waiting to see what the House. I have not heard a thing. I don't think you guys have heard anything, have you? And I've reached out to 3 different individuals, one who doesn't represent us, but just because I reached out to him, but I have not heard anything about the way the reval is going to go. I did get the feeling that the county and Jacksonville was still going to go with a new reval, the higher number is what I got the feel. We're not planning on going that route, I don't believe, because our budget couldn't sustain that. I don't believe, could we, John?
We are required to use the county revaluation number, so that'll be the basis
That's what
to
we'll go with?
when you calculate your tax revenue, it'll be on the new figure. We're not allowed to use the old figure, so that's, the budget you see will be based on the new valuation number.
Okay. And then thanks again, like everybody said, to Mary Pat and Linda Thornley for putting on a great Memorial Day service. It was good as always, and you guys get up early and work late to get it done, and so thank you so much for that. And we had Sergeant Major Paul Siverson come down. I want to thank him. I know he's probably not watching, but I do want to get his name registered and thank him for coming down and being our keynote speaker. He did a great job with it, and he was all dressed out in his full uniform, so he looked very nice. Major Capers will be going June 18th to get his Medal of Honor, Congressional Medal of Honor, so that's a great thing. So the next meeting at his house will be in July, and of course he's going to be, like Mary Pat said, our speaker at Military Appreciation Day, so we really are looking forward to having him. The Bucket Brigade and Gigi's Farm are just two community entities that are working out in our county that I just wanted everybody to be aware of, and it just builds a sense of community. Hopefully some way we can get them working with the Methodist Church here and with the Bucket Brigade and get that going to help establish some food for people. And then there was a really nice dedication at the St. Thomas AME Zion Church. They were included on the African American Trail, and it's a historic building, a part of our historic heritage here in town. So that was an honor to be invited to go out there, and Amelia Deesclep put that on primarily with our historic association. Joed has been kind of behind the scenes lately because there's not been going on much with Joed, but got notification they have hired a new executive director. Her name is Melissa Brandt, and she should be starting soon, and I know we have a meeting with Joed coming up in the near future. I can't remember the date. I've got it written down on my phone, but I don't remember it right off. So Joed will be up and running again to some degree. I don't know the focus of what they're going to focus on, but they do have a new executive director. That's all I have. So unless anybody else has anything else to say, I'd like to get a motion to adjourn. Second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? I wouldn't think so. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, so we're adjourned. Is that what that is? Yeah, that's from this.